It's one of India's biggest redevelopment projects, and it aims to transform Asia's biggest slum, Dharavi, into a vibrant economic engine. But of late, there's some politics around the redevelopment of Dharavi. And joining me to discuss this today are architect Shashi Prabhu and veteran political analyst Sanjay. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus show. Mr. Prabhu, why is it that Dharavi has always been in the center of politics, right from 1985 onwards, when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister, set off this project to redevelop the slum? Of course, nothing happened of that, but there have always been attempts to redevelop it, and now the reason we're talking about it is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has taken up this Dharavi redevelopment project as one more example of what he calls crony capitalism. What do you make of all of this, the politics behind the redevelopment of Dharavi?
Sandeep, I have been tracking this Dharavi since, Mr. Prabhu is a veteran architect. Yes. He has been in the know of Mumbai and its redevelopment board. But as a journalist both covering politics and infrastructure, I've been tracking it for over 3 decades. As you rightly said, there have been many attempts which being made since 1985, basically to redevelop what is termed as Asia's one of the biggest and the third largest at the world level, the slum which is known as Dharavi. But successive attempts have failed, thanks to politics, thanks to economic, and thanks to vested interests too. Now, as you rightly said, suddenly the Congress at the national level and at the state level, they are targeting this government, basically, which is termed as a Mahayuti government in Maharashtra, basically as an award of the contract to Adani Group, which is almost 5,000 plus crore project. It's quite obvious, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has made repeated, allegations about Adani and how now this project has gone to the same Adani Group has been a major bone of contention. But as you rightly said, on 16th of December, Uddhav Thackeray made a major kind of a show as he took out a morcha, and it was not just Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray morcha, but it was all Communists, Congress, NCP and a couple of others. They also joined hands basically to take up the issue. Now, what is the major contention? As per the opposition, this project has been as if given like a major cake to Adani's. One of the arguments. Secondly, even though what the government claims that a transparent bidding process was carried out, they are saying, or in fact alleging, that the entire tender or a bid was structured so that the Adanis can come in. This is a very interesting and a very, kind of a major allegations by the opposition. Third, very interestingly, just to recall, as you rightly said, in 2007, in 2009, in 2011, 2016, couple of attempts were made basically to award the project. When Fadnavis government was there, one of the settling was given, but somehow it could not take off during the Mahavikas Aghadi government. So, by and large, as in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections and later the assembly elections are going to happen in Maharashtra, this is definitely going to be a hot cake for both the ruling and opposition. On the ruling side, Mahayuti is definitely in favor of the redevelopment that is to be expedited. What they are saying, this is the much awaited, much debated redevelopment. It should take place without further delays and controversy. In fact, they are countering the opposition charge that as if the project has been structured to Adani. In fact, they are saying the entire tender was kept like that, which was there even during the Mahavikas Aghadi government. So nothing has even changed.
Mr. Prabhu, I want to bring in Mr. Sanjay. I want to bring in Mr. Prabhu here in this state where, do you see the politics behind this? As Sanjay was pointing out, Mr. Prabhu, the fact that Maharashtra is going to see 2 elections this year. You have the Lok Sabha elections, and then after that you have the assembly elections. What are the chances that a project like this, once it becomes politicized, political parties start taking it up and attacking each other over it, what are the chances that this could actually be delayed? Now, this is a project that Mumbai has needed for over 4 decades. Do you, as an urban planner, do you feel that this politics could derail this very critical slum redevelopment project?
Let me start with a note that we were given a chance or opportunity to survey entire Dharavi area. Dharavi is a complex city. I would like to call it a city because it's a part of the city.
Right.
Because there are people who have a cottage industries. People reside there. People come and go. People sleep in a rotation. We went to assess the total population. We could not do that Herculean task in 2.5 years. We are struggling. Now, basically, whoever wants to get into that, he has to start from the survey and try to understand what is the local people try to do there. Do they come there and reside, or do they have the cottage industry? What do people do? Because there is a tannery, there are people who are doing different kind of businesses. In the global scenario, people are manufacturing so many products for other countries and export them. So it's a complex issue. It is a dense populated area. So one has to look into this in a holistic approach, and somewhere you have to start, but you can't really demolish something and get to there. There is a fright in the mind of the people, I assume, that it will be completely demolished and restart, which Adani, like is very senior industrialist, will never do. They will analyze the entire project critically and then get into this.
But do you think, Mr. Prabhu, do you think the politics of this is actually going to, create more hurdles? Like one is, of course, you mentioned the physical aspects of this project, so complicated. It's got socio-economic reasons. I mean, it is an industrial hub. But the fact that the politics now gets into it, does that kind of make a lot of government officials, builders and all that wary to stay away from this?
Yeah, basically, if you try to put a fear in the mind of the people try to shy away. Though Mr. Adani is, that particular group is showing the interest.
Yeah.
Probably they must have done the study in depth, because it is a long-term project. It cannot be done in a month and a year.
Right.
See, we have to start at some end and end up by spending something 5 to 7 years. It's a large chunk. People are doing their businesses. You have to take very carefully and then look at the different angles at different times.
Right.
So I really appreciate Adanis have shown the interest.
Right.
And they keep on showing that interest and then push forward.
Sanjay,
to
now
protest something.
Yes. Sorry, Mr. Prabhu. Please go ahead.
No, it's easy to say something if somebody is getting in that there is a tons of money, etc., which is not true.
Right.
The hard efforts, Adani has to put in, cannot be calculated in terms of money returns. Money will be there, but after hard working in that area.
After decades.
It is not easy to talk to people, to convince them, bring them together. Because people are fragmented, everybody has his own business, everybody has his own business. It's a complex portion of Mumbai.
Right. Sanjay, since you've been monitoring this project for many years, especially in the last couple of years when Uddhav Thackeray was the chief minister, that's when this project kind of gathered some kind of momentum. Now, how does he turn around and oppose this award to Adani when this is the project that he had kind of overseen as chief minister? I mean, what explains this U-turn?
Sandeep, I have been tracking politics. You also know, you have been in Mumbai. If an opposition is raking up some issue and becomes, a ruling establishment, they will certainly try to glamorize this project. But when you are suddenly in opposition, obviously the projects which have been cleared, approved, discussed, debated, suddenly becomes a better noir. And they create a kind of a scenario. I think the same thing has happened because Mr. Thackeray right now, maybe as the politically it says, maybe down, but certainly not out. As he is definitely looking at Mumbai. He has been all the time saying that, it has been a kind of a draconian plan allegedly by the BJP-led government, basically to declare Mumbai as a union territory. So if you are bringing in or giving a kind of a red carpet treatment to Adani's, so that will be a kind of a part of the same plot. So he definitely has to take up this issue. But how far will he achieve his target? That is going to be seen because, as Mr. Prabhu said, on the 300 hectares of land, there are 58,000 families are residing. Apart from that, there are small cottage industries which are up and running right now. So the entire economy is of a multi-crore. So on the one hand, it will be, it will be another kind of a BKC which is in making. On the other hand, if the government and Adanis are definitely carrying out this project in a transparent manner, then this much awaited redevelopment has to take place. But Sandeep, I'll just give two issues,
Yes.
that needs to be addressed very thoroughly by the government as well as Adani. The local residents to whom I met couple of times recently also after the
Right.
Mocha and previously, that they are saying the eligibility and ineligibility survey which is being carried out,
Yeah.
which is nothing but a farce. I think the government and Adani will have to come clean on this. And secondly, they will also have to assure them that whatever has been the promise which has been made, what they
Yeah.
are saying is that the tenement will be much bigger than the SRA unit. That needs to basically materialize. And the third, the investment that they are doing, it should be made open so that they will have a faith that
Right.
Adani is not just interested for self-interest, but they are also interested for the betterment of the community and the entire redevelopment of Dharavi.
Right, right. Thanks, Sanjay. And Deepak, you had a question on Slumdog Millionaire, or was it Slumdog Billionaire?
So actually, I just want to, the last point that Mr. Sanjay was talking about,
Yeah.
that is the people, 58,000 families
Right.
that are living in the world's largest slum. So Sir has mentioned some aspects of the general mood about the project. But what is the wider sentiment? What are the fears and aspirations of these people? They're the poorest of the poor, or they wouldn't have been living in Dharavi of all places. So if you could elaborate a little more on that.
Oh yeah, okay. No, Sandeep, just to tell you that you were also there in the Express. Mr. D.M. Suptarkar is a former municipal commissioner,
Yes.
the chief secretary. He had come out with a very interesting he laid a committee. He came out with a very interesting observations about if the Mumbai is going to grow vertically, there will be a couple of issues the residents are going to face. The same fate to whom I talked to a couple of Dharavikars, they are
Yeah.
raising. If at all they go to a high-rise building of 50 stories, 60 story, how are they going to meet with the necessary arrangements when it comes to infrastructure, the property charges, the water charges and whatnot? Secondly, what will happen to the cottage? And even though government is saying that there will be a special area that will be carved out, but
Right.
will it be shown to the existing cottage and mini
Yeah.
industries? That
Right.
is going to be another issue. And a third, looking at the decaying of the infrastructure in that
Yeah.
area because of the, a densely population, how the government as well as the MMRDA, PMC and couple of other agencies are going to give a much of priority for a major makeover. I think these are the issues. They are definitely, in the minds of the Dharavikas that needs to be addressed. And I strongly feel the government, the policy makers and Adanis will bring all those, Dharavikas on board and take them into confidence to expedite this project, which should not be a kind of one of the projects which was completed in a reckless manner or in a hassle. That is going to be the major question that needs to be addressed by all those concerned stakeholders.
Right. Mr. Sanjay, thanks. Mr. Prabhu, just as a town planner, what do you think is a reasonable horizon to expect a fully redeveloped Dharavi as is being envisaged by the state government? How many decades would it really take to transform things? Because cities are not built in years, I guess they're built in decades, especially in Mumbai.
See, today everything is coming at throwaway price for them. Electricity, residential, no taxation for some of the people. Suddenly you are going to get caught into this. And people are scared about this. In our survey, people were openly saying so. We are not paying anything for anything, and we are getting everything in the terms of profit. Today, the whole area is considered as a cottage industry. People are doing business. People are
Yes.
getting money. People are, I don't know whether paying the taxes or not or what, but it's a different kind of issue, and one has to go very carefully into the entire scenario. And people like Adani, they will definitely must have done the study. And before saying the yes to the government,
Yes.
probably other people who are done and gone into the area, they must have already captured, the complete area scenario. So I don't think Adani will definitely get into this without any kind of survey and the future planning. So according to me, outwardly we can say that he is getting into this because of profit element, etc., which is wrong. It is a long gestation period for anybody
Right.
to enter into Dharavi.
So it's not so much of a profit thing. It is actually something of a landmark project that would be associated
No,
with
that will come
Adani?
automatically in landmark project.
Yes.
But the initial lot of investment and then duration of the project has to be considered. So
Right.
you have to have tenacity. So invest and wait and watch.
Right, invest, wait and watch, and in fact that's the motto as far as Dharavi is concerned. It's one of the most complicated urban redevelopment projects of all time, and it's been almost half a century since literally we've been trying to redevelop this part of Mumbai. But I'd like to thank you once again, Mr. Prabhu, for your insights. My friend Sanjay, thank you very much, and Deepak. That
Thank
story you can watch on our platform, Adani versus Uddhav Thackeray, only on News9 Plus. Download and watch.
News9 Plus. Download now.